No, this is African program.
No, I say, yeah, but we're in England.
Yeah.
You can't do Africa man time now. Everybody gets something.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Black Female Entrepreneur Greenwich. And this is the BFEG. And I hope you all have had a good weekend and start of the Monday. We are live, getting you up and running. It has been a very interesting week and very interesting month. So we've been celebrating the Black History 365 since 2020 to 2023. And we are actually coming to the end of our celebration. By April, everything will be wrapping up. But in terms of presentation of the African history and African culture, we are wrapping it up at the end of this month. And then other craft session within myself and Susie Anglo Hawk and NG Art will actually kick off as we get things out and about. So guys, I hope you all are having a great time enjoying the spring. Cost of living is actually creeping on everyone's pocket and everyone's day-to-day life. So guys, as much as the cost of living is eating you up in your own respective home, the BFEG is here to put a little bit of smile on your face through our talk show and some of our presentation and craft. That's the little we can do. And again, we'll continue to speak out and also get the people in authority to make the right decisions so that our community will continue to live to their expectation. Without taking too much of your time, you know, if you leave me on this platform, I'm going to run the show with what I have to say. So guys, this is the BFEG platform celebrating Black RBG Black History Month 365. And today I have my co-host Adi and also our presenter, Mr. Cletus Chukwuma, who will be actually doing some justice, and Adi also will be contributing to our today's topic. We are sorry we are unable to televise to you on the 10th of March due to some technical issue, but fast back rewinding, we are presenting it today to you on Facebook, and we're supposed to be on our Instagram, but because we have missed the other session, so you're having what you're supposed to have on the 10th of March, you're having it today. Then what you're supposed to have on Instagram today, you'll be having it, I think it's the 27th or what date did we pick. I will let you guys know. So before the end of this show, I will actually tell you when we'll be on Instagram to give you the other presentation. So guys, I hope you're all gonna have a fun time, and I'll use this opportunity to invite my co-host to actually introduce ourselves and then hand over to our presenter, Mr. Cletus Chukwuma. So guys, stay tuned and enjoy this palatable, I call it palatable African history. Not the one you've been seeing a couple of days at the Nigerian, I call it the Nigerian theater election. It's a theater show, but we won't talk much because that is not why we are here today. So guys, over to you, Adi. We are not doing Nigeria theater election here. We are getting on with our business, Black History 365.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good day, wherever you are watching from, today being the 20th of March. I salute you. My name is Adi Goretti, and I am a co-host to Lucy Isaiah, the madam, the CEO, the director, the controller, the finisher, and the beginner of all the programs. She drags me on. And can I complain to my audience, please? She doesn't give me time, oh, You talk to, send her email for me, send her text, tell her to give me 7 days notice to get myself ready. Because she knows my capability. I think that's what I'm proud of it though, because I don't disappoint her. She gives me less than 24 hours. You people, do you know that? Actually, I got this information about 10 o'clock this morning.
That is how you know presenter. That's how you know presenter.
And here I am, very ready to go. I was even ready to take Mr. Klestu's Chukuma's this is when some of those Nigerian time was beginning to work. I said, oh God, I'm in England. Time, we need to get going. I was ready to beat him to his game, That's how presenters are. And then he appears. So he owes me one, making me to crack my head. Anyway, welcome to BFEG. Yes, and we are presenting to you 360, which you've all heard already. Thank you for listening.
Over to you, Mr. Chukuma, and shoot on. We got no time. You are mute.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, everyone. And I want to sincerely apologize for the delay. Like Lucy said, it's due to technical hitches. Anyway, it's always a big fun to be here to talk about Africa. And this series, like Lucy said, we started a long time ago. We've done African masquerades, we've done African storytelling several times, we've done forgotten African soldiers, and of course, we touched on ethnicity and cultural identity of all the different parts of Africa, South, East, West, and of course, North. We've handled the Maasai people of Kenya and Tanzania. We've also, today, we're talking about the Allen and Fon tribes of West Kingdom. So what is the history of Allen and Fon tribe? What is the origin? They are from a small community called Tado in a small town called Aja in between the border of Benin Republic and that of Togo. And they've been there for a very long time. By the way, the Fon people belong to the group of tribes we call the Kwa language of the Niger-Congo area. And they are found in Côte d'Ivoire, in Togo, in Benin Republic, in Ghana, and some western part of Nigeria. So who are these Fon people? They are also called the Dahomey people. They live in Dahomey, south of Benin Republic, between Benin Republic and that of Togo. What is their language? Fon language. That's what they speak. And they are related to Ewe people, also in Benin Republic. And this same Ewe people belong to the Kwa language of Niger-Congo. It's important for us to know that the Fon people are predominantly, like I said before, in Gabon, in Ghana, in Togo, Benin Republic, and of course, Nigeria. They number about 3 million people. They are not very populated. They are not high in population, but they have a very strong history. Unfortunately, like every other African tribe, we don't have anything written about them until the Europeans came, before they started writing things that has to do with history about them. So it's oral history, just like you know about most African countries. But with the arrival of the Europeans, one man wrote a book, History of Dahomey, and his name is Archibald Dazier. Now, a lot of scholars have criticized his work because they feel that the book is a one-story book, and he didn't do justice to the people because his records was more of negative things and stuff like that. What do you expect? The question is, why couldn't we document our history? The people are now, they have about, in terms of religion, they have 15% Christians, 15% Muslims. They still hold fast to their, what you call it, voodoo or voodoo, that they practice in Benin Republic, Togo, and part of Ghana. But this religion is predominant in Benin Republic and Togo. I share let me share my experience, my practical experience with the traditional worship in Benin. Before I go, it is on 4 elements. They believe in public gods, personal gods, ancestral spirit, and of course, magic. I experienced what they refer to as public gods when I was traveling from Lagos to Accra for a job, and we got to the part of Benin Republic. It was late in the night, and it was amazing. I saw hundreds and thousands of people wearing white clothes by the seashore, worshiping their God. That's to tell you how strong it is. My second contact with their native religion was when, back then in 2006, that's FIFA World Cup qualifier that we hold in Germany. Then a man called Keshi was the head coach of Togo, and Keshi is from Nigeria. So as a journalist, I went to cover the match. And as the players were preparing, voodoo worshippers were also preparing their charm and magic for the match. So I took my camera and I went over there to record it. It was a sight to behold. I was there for more than 4 hours. They were practicing everything. If I were to play back those images, fantastic. I didn't understand what they were doing, but I was just doing my job. So I'm just trying to say that even in modern times, their traditional religion is still very, very strong. They have not given it up. So don't ask me whether they are doing the right thing, because everyone is spiritual. Some don't believe in God through Brother Moon, some Muslims, Christians, you name it, so many. And so these people still believe in their tradition and their traditional worship, and it's very strong. And a whopping 65 to 70% of them, of the population, still believe in that. And so that's about their religion. Then in terms of occupation, of course, before the coming of the white man, the basic occupation of every African, most African, majorly was agriculture. They were farmers, traditionally farmers. They produced cassava, they produced yams, they produced corn, and of course, they produced coconut. So when you drive, the Benin Republic and Togo have their road that's very coastal road, very beautiful coastal road. And when you drive along the coastal road, all you see is just a lot of coconut. And of course, the corn they produce serve both Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana. So that's why you have a lot of kenkey in Ghana. I think they even produce more corn than they produce in Ghana. Then the cassava they produce is almost the same thing that the Nigerians do. The men will always clear the fields, the women will plant, and of course the women will harvest. So they also have wide expanse of cash crop, where you have palm tree plantation, and etc., etc. And apart from being farmers, they are great hunters. Dating back to before the coming of the white man, they use bow and arrow to hunt. They also use traps in different shades. The one that they may dig the earth and camouflage it, an animal will fall into it and they bring it out, or the ones that they will use rope, etc., just for hunting and for their game. They are also into pottery. Now, they have semblance with a lot of African tribes, including the Beninese. And what baffles me most is that this pottery, apart from the earth materials and all of that, they were able to create heat. In modern day clay, what we call clay, that they use to produce cement and all of that, the temperature is as high as 1,563 degrees Celsius. Now the question is, how did they achieve that then? Now, this is where it gets more interesting, because we're meant to believe by our Western brothers that Africans are uneducated and are not intelligent. Then how did the African, before the coming of the white man, especially my great brothers from Fon, were able to heat up this pottery? Then when they finish the casting, if you pour water, it will never accept water. It will not absorb water. That's high tech. Just like you can relate it to Egypt, what Egypt was doing before they had contact with Europeans. Now, all these things, even when the facts are so obvious, let me just borrow a little from the bronze casting in Benin, and before the white man came, this same heat that they apply in melting iron and all of that, who taught them? And it wasn't the white man. But today they make you believe that you don't do anything. So some people were also into clothes weaving. Now, cloth weaving also dates back to about 6,000 or 5,000 years before Jesus Christ in Egypt. And of course, also thousands of years before Jesus Christ in Fon, that axis of Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, and some part of Nigeria. And of course, you can go right down to the east, the Nri tradition of Nigeria, the Igbo people. They've been weaving clothes for a very long time. But the history that were written by my white brothers also tells you that, oh, black people never wear clothes. We made them on top of trees. So with this kind of right information, that should be able to tell our children that some of those single stories are never true. Then production of metals and utensils dates back to almost 3,000 years in Fon, in these countries that we keep mentioning. Then for their marital, for their marriage, it's very unique. Of course, they are like most African countries, is patrilineal. And the only thing that we may not like now, especially our women today, is that they are polygamous. They practice serious polygamy. Now, what they have is a man who is rich. What do I mean by being rich? You have large farms, you have a lot of children, they help you to cultivate the farm. So they were married to about 4 to 5 women, and they would build huts for them. And they now have a big fence around those huts. And all the women will live in their huts with their children. But during till by moonlight time and all of that, everyone will come to the center of the courtyard. That was the communal life Africans were known for. But today, modernity is breaking that. And you can see that in elections that we conduct and all of that, we're not killing ourselves and all. So that communal life, that camaraderie, that friendship that we used to have after farm, we tell stories, it's fading away. And you guys are winning. with everything that you are feeding us with, and that's the only thing we read from. Now, in Fon language, they place emphasis then, not now. They place emphasis on maidens that were virgins. In fact, history has it that they paid more money for virgins than non-virgins. I don't know how they were sorting it out, but that was their, so virginity was highly revered that time, and marriage payment was a lot higher for people they consider as virgins. Now, for funerals, that's what I don't subscribe to now, but the practice is in Africa. When somebody dies, years later, they are still celebrating the death. After burial, oh, they say the first year, the second year, and keep like, the Fon people were known for that. And that ties in with their religion, or voodoo religion. And it's always very colorful. The people are always full with gaiety, a lot of colors. And when these funerals are being celebrated, remembering the dead and all of that stuff, is still very, very prominent in these countries, especially Benin Republic and Togo. Now, there's something that is very great about the Fon people, the Dahomey Amazons. Now, these are women, notable women, female. They were combatant soldiers. And I know that some people will say, no, African women are naive, they don't know anything. That's not true. And it's not only in Dahomey. These Dahomey women were known to have even fought the white men when they came. They were known to have gone for war and won war for Dahomey people. Predominantly women, and they were combatants. I'm not talking about people who cook for soldiers. They were in the war front fighting. And this is very instructive. And I was asked, I said, this is a little bit different from Benin. I didn't hear that Benin women were combatant soldiers, but Fon developed women. They said over 3,000 women were trained to fight wars. And that, for me, is great. I don't know whether their women still have that kind of combatant spirit today. Maybe, maybe not. I can't tell. But if you leave Fon, you also find the Queen Amina of Zaria. She was a great warrior who conquered cities, a woman. You also have the Aba women, the Aba riot that dealt with the British. So women have played very great significant role in trying to liberate their society or defend their societies. So it didn't start today. Then what is their food like? Fon people they like to cook outside. Like most African society, you know, is modern day that you move into your house, you have your flat, you have your sitting room, your whatever, and your kitchen, everything in an enclosure. No, it wasn't like that during our days. I mean, in the days of our forefathers, everybody cooked outside. Now, I was trying to find out why. It's because society was a better place then. Your food items were kept outside and nobody will steal them. You can't do that today. We're locking ourselves up because we have a contaminated belief system in this modern world. We're thieves, we're armed robbers, we're greedy, we're vengeful, we hate people. But in time past, you could just, in a barn, of course, I grew up in the village in Nigeria. In our barn, when you finish working, you keep everything there. You will meet them. You meet your cutlass, you meet your food, you meet your yams, you meet everything that you keep there. But not anymore. So where did this culture come from? When we talk about Fon people, the same way, the Maasai people, the same way, the Krobo in Ghana, the same way, even the Egyptians, the same way. So who brought this contaminated mindset of trying to destroy, steal, maim, and kill? The black man needs to ask very serious questions, because we need to go back to where we were before. I would rather live in a society where my mother cooks outside, and when she's done, we'll eat outside and keep the food maybe outside, and nothing will happen to it the following morning, than rent security outfits, build walls, get cameras that we see when I'm not there to monitor people. Why don't we educate the mind to become the brother's keeper, rather than invest millions and billions in trying to secure those things when we're not there? Why did we accept the route that is so unpredictable and so expensive to what is not expensive and is predictable? And that, to me, is love. When you can't, you won't take my things and I won't take yours. That's love, and that's God. So we need to find out why. And so their food, like I said, they cook outside, they eat a lot of rice, corn, and of course the common food that they cook themselves. Then the people in the south are the ones that actually eat more of corn and rice. But people in the north, they eat millet, sorghum, and yams are preferred. And of course, that's why if you find anybody from Benin Republic or Togo who is very athletic, they are usually from the north, where they eat millet and things like that. So that's how much I want us to talk. I'm laying down for this society, these great people of fun, so we can banter together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very. You can see that I was laughing away. Those women are called now. I think they've done this. You know, I have an issue with the name. I love it. I love the Wakanda women, which is the Wakanda theme. But I would have preferred it to be called the fun women. You know, they should have actually called them who they are, instead of rebranding it. Because what they've done with Wakanda was to rebrand the true story of the fun women who are from the Benin Republic, which is where my husband actually comes from. The Benin, the Benin people, you know, they have very strong, powerful women there. And I can tell from my mother-in-law how very, you know, industrial, very strong, independent. You can tell. And those of us that travel to Benin to go and trade in Cotonou, you can see how industrious and very, they might not be the educated one that we all see today out of this society, but these women, you cannot beat them in terms of how they manage. You can have all the education in the whole world. If you cannot manage your home, you know, you cannot manage your environment, what is under your care. Management is not about you just going to a paid job that was given to you. You can see what those women do. What they were doing is not like it's a paid job, like you get employment. This is women sitting down, managing day-to-day advances. Because there's one thing for you to sit down and you can plan. You say, oh, you know something is going to happen. Because you have some of our sophisticated women now, they call themselves very sophisticated. You know, they sit in their managerial seats, and when things are coming, they know that things are coming, so they've already prepared for it. The fun women are not like that. You know, things, they are always at large. When things come, they manage it. So it take a lot of intelligence. It takes a lot of intelligence and very braveness for you to tackle issue when it comes to you. So I actually salute those women, you know, and you see that a lot in a lot of our women. I'm going to go to Adi. I know you do some, I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to put in some of the things that you've actually find out about this before we go into the banter of the question and answer.
Right. Just having to look at history in addition to everything that have been said, that the Dahomey kingdom itself was very advanced and centralized. They had a very centralized administration. And just going back to what Cletus have said, or if I might be too official to say Mr. Chukuma have said, you know, it brings to question again why we are looked at as we not having the knowledge, we not having the know-how. But unfortunately, I was teaching something about Shakespeare and colonization and how colonial masters, of course, went to Africa and so many other countries. I think Australia was one of them as well, but Portuguese was one of them, you know, and just out of their control and power, looked at us as the other and took our, you know, our land from us and looked down on everything we're doing. If they had good intention, if they had love, as you know, Mr. Chukuma have said, what they would have done was when they go and see what is there, they add what they have brought to improve what is there. So these people had very organized taxation, yes? And then we can see that in countries like Nigeria, nobody wants to pay tax. They want to keep all their money. They had very organized, they had, of course, we've talked about the, the foreign military, the Amazons. You know, they had very organized military. It also included specialized units, like Mr. Chukuma said, excuse me, specialized units of the Dahomey Amazon. And he said that if these people haven't got the mentality, the intelligence, the know-how, the ability to organize themselves to suit their purpose and the environment with which they lived, how could they have a centralized administration? Our children, you know, our parents brought up their children by sitting, you know, in those huts in the middle in the evening and telling story by mouth. I remember teaching the Anansi story, you know, of Ghana to children in this country when they were very interested in global, you know, history, not Eurocentric history, you know. So that is the part of that. The second thing also that I want to talk about is that they had what they called the Negang dance, you know. There's a fun dance as well, a special fun dance, which was done on occasion of celebration of the sacrament. You're not going to believe it, because it talks about Christianity. They've got a mixture of the fetish, deity, because voodoo means spirit and deity. Anyway, we know that I've been to Dahomey, I've been to Togo and all those. They do worship, you know, that. But they had a dance, and you know what they called the dance? They called it a celebration of the sacrament. The Feast of Corpus Christi, it was. The Feast of Corpus Christi, you know, where they all come together and they are full Christians. And some think they are not Christians. They say they are Christians. The chief comes from where he is, from the palace. They sit him down. They know they are celebrating together. They don't celebrate on their own. They celebrate together. And then the chief is served drinks. And then they dance. And they carry, when you see some of the things they carry, you would think it's fetish, but they are celebrating a Christian sacrament, Corpus Christi. We all know about Corpus Christi anyway. Yes, but they have some of those traditional things. They carry even branches. And I look, when I was looking at it, I said that this is olive branch then, you know what they mean here by olive branch. So the women carry branches and they dance in public. I think you could think they are symbolic of the fetish worshipping, but they're not. They beat drums, they use African drums, they have tusks, they blow into those big, the tusks that they bring out of the bulls or the big cows, they blow into that, they carry horse tails, the horse tails that chiefs carry in Africa, the women also carry them, and those leaves, and they just enjoy themselves. They dance down the street. Children are around them, different instruments. They even use calabash. The calabash we have in Africa with in Nigeria with the beads, raptor. We call it ishaka. I can even beat that. They carry those ones, they blow whistles. So everything. The Caribbeans are part of this fun people who have moved over there, and then they do presentations, the fun of Nkambe, they call it, the masquerades. They do the masquerades dancing, followers carrying sticks and gathered in traditional society, and they gather in different traditional societies. They come one by one to dance and they belong. So yeah, so that is in addition to everything else that Mr. Chukuma has already talked about. And of course, the film that Mrs. Azara was talking about, Lucy Azara was talking about, is the Black Panther. Yes, it's the Black Panther, because it's the female fighters in Black Panther film that was inspired by the fun. So like she rightly said, in the Black Panther, why didn't they call it fun women or the Amazon fun women? They could have done that, because that was where the inspiration came from. So you see, most of our stories, like the Netflix, now they're going home to take our stories. And I remember somebody saying, they are trying to pay us peanuts. And I'm hoping that we will not sell our birthrights. Because if we don't, in a couple of years, we will have our own film industry, just like our music eventually has gone to America now. So if I were them, you see, this is why I say, I should be the prime minister of, whatever, president of Nigeria, because I'll keep a lot of things. Time will come when they will be wanting it, just like they are wanting it now. They are coming home to shoot and all of that. Our music is all over now, all over the place. It's accepted now, and so will all of these things be accepted. It's just a matter of time. So the farm people are quite, organized, and we were what we were before colonization anyway. They came to steal, destroy, like Satan in the Bible. We have come here for reparation, there's nothing else, the things you have stolen. They are returning all those Benin carvings and everything. Like we said, cast iron, and it's we that are selling our birthrights, because if we put our head to it, those things, we can develop them into what the world will be coming for. Putting all of them, I did not go into Mozambique, all the places to excavate our gold. Look at what we have on our phones. What does it come from? The children are there digging them up, and they're paying their £1 and we are buying phones for £1,000 something. I mean, somebody is selling it, definitely. If they have conscience, they wouldn't,
Much added. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Kasi, do you have something to say?
Yes, let me say, let me correct, I want to be addressed as Cletus. I want my first name, no Mr., no doctor, no, just Cletus. So that's good. Then my sister talked about that maybe the fun women are not educated, but they are strong. I want to differ. They are very educated. What is education? Education is.
I didn't say they were not.
No, not you. Lucy was talking about they may not be educated. What we see as education is going to Cambridge to study and all of that.
No, what I mean, people might class them as not, like what I say, people might class them as not being,
because they're ignorant of who educated people.
But they are they are phenomenal women.
Yes.
So, they could start any challenge.
Education is a Latin word meaning educo, which means knowledge within. So you acquiring a certificate is not necessarily education. So these women are educated in their own right.
And Cletus, your education can be gotten from any language. It can be Igbo.
Exactly.
It can be Hausa. It doesn't have to be English language.
Exactly.
Because when they came, there was language there in the first place. They just refused to develop it. So I was saying to somebody at work, I said, my first language was English.
Okay.
And I say yes, because English is a lingua franca. So you have the older ones that have been to school or came to England already. When they talk to you, they're going to be talking to you in English anyway. And the language you pick up is from the villagers, the older people and all that. You don't go, I say you don't go to the office in Nigeria and speak your own dialect. You speak English.
Yes.
And then when we come here, they look at us as if we can't speak English. We have an accent. Blah, blah.
So if I can't speak English, and they say Cletus Chukwuma is not educated because I can't speak English.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the artwork that they stole was not produced in English language.
English language in it, exactly.
You know? So you see, there's so many things that are so basic and simple, but people are still stupid to them. I don't understand why. Anyway, so talking about our people, Madam said he wants to be president of Nigeria. Most people feel so because you see, when you see the potentials of Nigeria and leaders are not making use of them, you cry. Do you know that from the west coast of Nigeria, I mean from Lagos to the north, everywhere is supposed to be what you could call tourism. From Idorin Hill, Osun State, Ekiti State, Anambra, Enugu, down to the north. Tourism that will bring hundreds of millions of dollars, or none. Nothing is happening. So our culture that we're supposed to propagate, our leaders don't see. The only thing they see just money from the oil in Warri and Port Harcourt. Finish. So that's the tragedy. Well, and now look at where we are. Look at the election. We're thinking that, maybe a new Nigeria will emerge. But we're still hopeful God will see us
anyway.
through. So,
did you see that the Frenchman was tackled in Africa? He was tackled. Emmanuel Macron.
Okay.
Yeah, the African leader said, don't say it was a journalist. It wasn't a journalist, because he tried to twist what he was saying and he stopped him on his track. Macron was wanting to lie the way they all fold it in some. The man said no. The video went viral. Because he's been traveling to African countries. The man said no. That you should allow us to run our life, to run our business, because we can run it. Don't come here and tell us all because you're interested in taking away. We're still paying taxes to you. Why should we be paying taxes to you? This is the 21st century. Then he said one of the men, I think it was Ivory Coast or something, just went to Paris to pay taxes. The French are still collecting taxes. And from the information I have here, there was an annex, this area in 1904, when it was annexed into the French colonial empire, Dahomey and all those suburbs, because they speak French as well. They are still paying homage to them, collecting money. The man said they should leave them alone. They should stop
even when we understand, like bringing it back to the topic, when we understand that even those women battled the French soldiers. Was it the French or the Dutch soldier that they fought throughout the battle that tried to actually invade their kingdom, not wanting to observe people's culture. Going back to the Benin, even when they decided to say they want to visit the Oba of Benin, they were they were having a festival. So I'm just gonna break it down. Just imagine now, they say the day we are celebrating the coronation of the king, then like all the African country will now march up from Africa. Just no visa, they don't take visa. Okay, just imagine. I'm not going to bring it. See, just imagine that we just march up from Africa. We did not take visa. All the African leaders with their delegate, they didn't take a visa. They march up, follow through Morocco, come through the Mediterranean Sea, pass through the Mediterranean Sea and started coming inside UK and said, we want to see the king. We're not going to do your coronation till we see you. We didn't even pass the border. What did they call that sea? What did they call that place? Calais. We didn't even pass Calais. I believe what's her name? Was the Home Secretary? The Home Secretary would have taken them from there. He would take them to Rwanda. He would not even. No, this is, you see, just imagine, because this is what they did. When they came in, Oba of Benin was having a festival. If you go back to all the places that were invaded, it was used to be kingdom. It wasn't Nigeria, it was all kingdom.
Yeah. Dahomey kingdom.
So before they invaded them, those people were having their cultural celebration. So that is why I'm just bringing it down to, we are having the coronation soon. Just imagine when we are having, England is having the coronation and our leaders march up and said, we want to see the king. We must see the king. I'm sure MI5, MI10, MI15 would have will bundle.
What about the airport?
The helicopter, we shoot them before they even. So this is what we are saying. If you are able, you can see, we cannot put it to reality or put it to our today's society that what you did that time was not right, was never right. And we're talking about is it? I know we talk about saying it's not. I don't see that as fetish. That's our culture.
That's their tradition.
Yeah. So using that word fetish, would you say the celebration of the Halloween? Would you say it's fetish? Halloween. They never call Halloween fetish. They celebrate it. Halloween is a witch festival. Yeah. It's a celebration, it's a witch festival. You know, it's a celebration of witchcraft. People proud of being witchcraft. There's nothing wrong being witchcraft. That is their culture. So would you say what we do, whether you call it voodoo, whatever you call it, it is our culture. That is what makes us who we are. So the Europeans can keep their Halloween, keep their witchcraft, and you're telling Africa not to keep their witchcraft? For God's sake, I am keeping my witchcraft. My witchcraft is in my house, it's in me. Because I believe, Mr. Cletus, you remember, my own father's house, that is where the witchcraft started. The big shrine, the biggest shrine ever in Iru.
Are you practicing witchcraft now?
Keeping mine. I have not thrown away. I'm keeping mine.
Anyway, seriously, I'm not talking about how you choose to know your God. That's not my interest. Madam touched what I want to expand on. She talked about Africans paying tax to especially French people. All this Dahomey, Benin Republic and all, or Togo, they see pay tax. The question is, Madam said they make us to pay tax. So if I refuse to pay tax, who will die?
Oh, they are refusing now. The movement have started.
No, Madam, they are so slow. Why?
I know, yeah, I agree.
They are so slow. I don't know why. See, Madam, let's go to Christianity now. Before God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, there's what we call conscience law. Married men knew that you couldn't sleep with another married woman. It was not written. It was conscience law. Therefore, even today, any law that is not built on morality will not stand. The law that says that French-speaking African countries should pay tax to France is a cardinal sin. It's an error in humanity, but we have accepted it. If I'm not boasting, if any person like me should be president of, they won't allow me anyway, of any country, I would champion that. They want to kill themselves and not me. Now, this is where I get angry with our leaders. We are so carried away with building a house in France or in Dubai or in America, and we think we have arrived, and our people are living in abject poverty. Why should Côte d'Ivoire pay tax for the seat of government in Côte d'Ivoire, built with cocoa money, built with the effort of Côte d'Ivoire? Why?
That's right.
Why are they doing it? Why are we so? Why have we become so weak, as if God didn't make us?
I don't know. As if we don't have brains.
Honestly, we should be angry. Our people are not angry. We should be angry. Look, anytime any country wants to move forward, they will thwart it. Look at Nigeria. Nigeria is a very good example. Whether you believe me or not, if Obi had become president, Obi becomes the president of Nigeria, Nigeria will move forward. Just like Rwanda is moving forward. Do you know what the kind of campaign Britain is carrying out against the man in Rwanda? That the man is a despot, is that, because he has built his country.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. It's already 9:30. It is well with Africa.
It is well with Africa. And like I say, this is Black Female Entrepreneur Greenwich. We're still celebrating Black History Month. And you cannot celebrate Black History Month without talking about some of the untalkable. Some people say, don't talk about it, but we're going to speak about it because I do not want my conscience to kill me. You know, they say there are different ways for you to actually help in bringing Africa. So, because, you know, when they come here and they said, oh, we don't want people to come to this country, they should remain in their own country. People will remain in their country when the country is settled.
Yes.
When foreign policies stop manipulating what happened in other people's country, I am telling you, you will see people stop coming here because their country will be settled. They will remain there, and some of the people that are here, they will also go back.
They will go back.
They will go back, so you can have more space. You can live in 3 flats. One you put.
Imagine if Nigeria were to be like Singapore or Dubai. Will you be in Britain?
No, we're all going home. Operation Go Home.
Exactly.
This will be Operation Go. This will be Operation Go Home. We don't need visa. If it's to go through the boat, we'll go through the boat and go back home.
I don't know how you guys manage. You have white Christmas. You are cold. You can't come out from your house. Here in Africa, from January to December, it's beautiful weather. Do you enjoy Christmas? You don't enjoy Christmas, do you? I don't know what the weather is like now.
We eat turkey.
That's not enjoyment. You know what enjoyment is? You need four people that will come out in the night and they will be in their courtyard and they are telling stories that there's love, there's camaraderie, there is justice, there's no vengeance, there's no cameras watching who is coming to kill you and who is not coming to kill you. That's enjoyment, not talking.
Mr. Clark, there's something you say about cooking outside. I know you say because I think that is the communal spirit.
Yes.
Community. Because when you cook outside, I remember back when you cook outside, everybody is coming to chop. You know, that is the cooking outside is the community. Is the community. You see, if you are cooking, neighbor from the other side, you don't even need to eat in your house. Sometimes when you go and play, Your parents don't worry about it because they know you will eat in the next, you eat in the 4th street. The 5th.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you will go
That's
and
right.
eat there. Then you come back in the evening, then your friends also will follow you back home and come back home and eat. And you are cooking even inside, outside, everyone is seeing. People are coming with their plates. What are you cooking today? They are sharing. That is the communion spirit. But these days, we don't have that anymore. You know, the communion spirit, it has now become individual spirit. Everybody is sitting in there.
Because you guys know how to do budget. It's for 4 people. It's for 2. So when you come in, they say, no, this meal is for 2. We don't cook for 2 in Africa.
You want me to tell you a quick one?
Yeah.
There's somebody opposite me, yes, whose son, I let come here. When, my son did Holy Communion at some point, they came here, they ate, they carried home, they did everything. So my child, they go to the same school. So they go to each other's house. My son, the boy comes here, we feed him. My son went to their house one day. Around 4 o'clock, he came back. And hardly, I think he went there maybe around 3 or 3:30 or something like that. So I said, why are you back? He said, oh, the woman told him to go, that they are having tea. Hey! I say, as generous as I am, when their children come here, we feed them and all that. There's even another one that's a teacher in another school. The 2 sons.
Is it a black or white family? A black family or a white family?
Whitey. I told my son, I said, the day your leg will step into the house again.
Never again.
I said, I will chop them off.
Yes.
You know, my son never went there again.
Never.
What is tea? 1 cup of tea. You can even use 1 bag of tea to make tea for 2 children. 1 cake or 1 biscuit that you are going to give my child. But when your child come here, he eats anything.
But yeah, you see, I'm gonna bring it back to some of the things we face here as a Black organization or Black community. You're talking of tea. You're talking of when it comes to us giving. Oh, they want us to do this. They say it's volunteering. You need to give back. But when it comes to them actually giving, now they have a budget to pay their own organization.
Exactly.
But if it's a Black-led organization, you need to volunteer. You need to bring those things. We are here to listen to you, but you are collecting data, you are collecting information, you are collecting things that we have done, and you don't want to. There's no budget for it. But they've kind of every time they upgrade the way in which they manipulate us.
Yes.
They upgrade it different way.
Yeah, so and they come with different adjectives.
We need to develop Africa, period.
No, but that is true.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. I think we've come to the end of the day of our show today. And guys, it has been a wonderful time. Remember the work our women, Black women are doing in our community, the African women, the mention, the Aba women, Queen Amina, the Fun women. There's a lot of women, even the one in Ghana. A lot of them have done great work. Do not let your accent, do not let anyone use your accent, the color of your skin, how you look like to undermine you. You are important, you're special, and you have a lot to give. So remember what the Fun women have done. Remember what the Aba women have done. Remember what Queen Amina has done. And continue to do what you can in your own local community.
Can I beg our African parents to not go this way when they are bringing up their children in this country? I told you about a parent who I told the son off for not doing homework. They stopped coming for help. The father turned around, the Ghanaian father turned around and said the son came back home and told him that he doesn't want to go again, that he's feeling anxious, he has anxiety. What nonsense anxiety? You didn't do your homework the way you are supposed to do it. Somebody is helping your child to tell the child that, what, should I pamper him? Oh, you didn't do it. Don't worry. Oh, do it this way. Excuse me. And they are carrying church in their head. These parents, I'm telling you, they go to preach on the pulpit and the Bible says, chastise the child. Teach a child the way it should go. So the parents even come here and they are the one messing up the children that they have had in this country.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And for me, Lucy, Isaiah, Adigarate, and Mr. Cletus, we say, celebrate what makes you Africa. And we will see you back. I think we are back at Instagram. I just want to see the
27th, Monday, 27th.
27th of March. We'll be at our Instagram platform giving you the best of African history, right from the source. No koto shuk, no koto shuk, proper story. And be informed. And good night, everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.